created using Powtoon.
morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back. Today is September 4th. It's about 3:30 in the morning. I just want to share with everyone something this morning. I saw a demonstration maybe about a month ago in reference to our dark side and the power of prayer. If you continuously pray over and over and over again, things will eventually become clear. Although that a lot of times when we pray to God, we don't get answers right away. But if you continuously pray over and over, things become clear. So the demonstration involves this bottle, and if you see, the inside of this bottle is all dark liquid. That represents our dark side. And this cap represents our limitations. So we as a human, which is the bottle, have limitations, which is this cap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this bottle into the sink and we're going to do a demonstration. So let me put that there. I'm going to turn the camera around so that everybody can see it. And hopefully you folks can all see it now. Okay, so you see the bottle. I'm going to turn the water on. Okay, so now everything inside is dark, which represents our body and our inside. And what I'm going to do, and this clear water represents our prayer. So you see the continuous water running. I'm going to now, as the prayer, as we're praying, I'm going to lift our limitations, which is the cap. And we're going to slowly add our prayer to this. We all go through dark times. I mean, I've had some dark years. I just didn't understand everything that was happening. I'm going to admit it that I'm not a super patient person. I tend to want answers right away and know what's happening and when what I can do to solve it. I don't like not being happy and confident about things. It's just not who I am. But when I get down, it takes a lot for me to get back up. If we pray for a sign, which is this, the water is prayer, but just give up because we feel like God's already heard our prayer and He knows what we need, but He hasn't answered. It's kind of like when we were kids in the toy store and we kept asking our mom and dad for toys, but we never got any results. Yeah, it never worked for me either, but you get what I mean. Anyway, that is exactly what's happened to me in the past years. I have prayed and prayed and prayed, but haven't really gotten any results. The answer I thought God would give me, and especially in the time of frame, I thought my problems would be fixed, which was all before 2013. Then in 2013, my cap of limitations was lifted. This is the cap, remember this now, was lifted off the bottle, which is my body. Here is where I will just show you how that worked for me. So basically we all have dark sides, which is what's in the bottle, was in the bottle. We are facing, and we take the limitations off our mind, which was the cap I lifted. Don't limit what He can do because we have to just trust in the Lord. That sometimes even after we pray and we just give up, and it is often why we get defeated. However, even though nothing has really changed, we just keep praying. That's the prayer, the sign of the prayer, the flowing Lord. Just keep praying and never ever give up praying. And if we do that and devote ourselves completely to the Lord, He will pull us through. The dark times will go away and we just have to be patient. I know it's hard. Being patient truly is a virtue. But by never ever giving up on prayer, it's going to show you that God will eventually answer all your prayer. And the more we pray, which is this water going into the bottle, one day everything will become clear. You see how clear this is now? That is the power of prayer. Folks, I think that demonstration says it all. If we had a bottle which represents our body, and the bottle, everything was dark on the inside, and the water coming out of the faucet represents the prayer, day after day after day, just keeps adding to the darkness which was in the bottle. Eventually all that prayer has to turn what was dark inside this bottle, which is our body, has to change and become as clear as this water in here. That, folks, is the power of prayer. Hello, folks. My name is Ralf Friedrichs. I just want to share my story with my situation back in 1981 in the United States Marine Corps. I was sitting in a chapel during boot camp, and a chaplain tapped me on the shoulder and asked me to come into his quiet room. As I was walking into his quiet room, I had no idea what he wanted from me. It was then that God was setting my life in motion So the chaplain sat me down and he says, Ralph, I've noticed that you like to help people, you motivate people, you're always walking around with a smile. And I wanted to know, and this is the chaplain saying this to me, I wanted to know, Ralph, would you like to volunteer and become a lay leader? And of course, I had no idea what a lay leader was. So he explained to me what a lay leader was. It's somebody that is a liaison between the recruits and the chaplain. So when the recruits have issues, problems, or anything like that, they go to the lay leader, and they go to the chaplain as the lay leader to let the chaplain know of the situations that are happening. It was then in 1981 that God already had a plan for me, and what when there from that point on was that God realized that no matter how long it would take for me to achieve what God already knew what was going to happen to me, He would let me go down into the worst extremes in life. So from 1981 as a lay leader, and I'm going to show you the medal now with a lay leader, the front and the back. This is the back of the medal, and then the front looks like this. So in 1981, at Paris Island, South Carolina, when I became a lay leader, God already had my life set in motion. But again, He wanted me to set my own course in life. So I went down the years and the course of my life and did some of the worst things possible to my own body through alcoholism. God already said to Himself, well, I'm going to wait for Ralph to get close to hitting rock bottom. So from 1981 until 2011, which is 30 years, God came to me again and He said, Ralph, are you ready to continue helping other people? That's when I formed Mastic Beach Outreach 2011, and what that was is for older people and mentally and physically challenged people, that my wife and I would help them by giving them clothing, food, possibly, like in one case, tires for someone's car. And so God said, okay, he is getting better, but he's still not ready to do what I really wanted him to do. So in 2011, I continued my alcoholism to the point of 10 to 15 shots a day. As time went further, to 2 years down the road, it became worse and worse with my alcoholism. In 2013, God finally put His big hand on my head and says, are you ready now? That is when I hit rock bottom. June 22nd, 2013, I reached out and I finally admit that I had an alcohol problem. It was then when God lifted me up and set my life in motion for today, September 2nd, 2014. So from 2013 until 2014, I continue educating myself and you, others, through my websites, through my videos on how to battle with addiction. And God saw this, and He said to Himself, Ralph is still continuing helping people. So in between 2013 and 2014, as time was going by, and I proved to God that I was really reforming myself, that God introduced me to Dr. Luis Gonzalez. I had been toying with the idea about becoming a substance abuse counselor until I ran into an article about recovery coaching. So I thought it was very ironic that God had planted Dr. Luis Gonzalez from Starting Point, that's StartingPointmn.com, 844-414-844, into my life. Dr. Luis Gonzalez gave me the educational programming to turn me into a recovery coach. So while I was training for Dr. Luis Gonzalez to become a recovery coach, and today, my father comes from South Carolina to visit, and we're looking at my shrine, which my wife calls a shrine, which is all my Marine Corps ribbons and medals. And my father asked me, Ralph, what is this medal for? What is this particular medal for? And I then said to myself, here's where it all came together. I finally realized what that medal stood for and how it influenced me in my life. It was back in 1981 that God knew already that I would eventually, towards the middle or 60% of my life, be out to help other people, to continuously help people, to motivate people, to coach people. So it was from 1981 to 2011 that I ran my life to the ragged ends, to the pit of the worst. And then from 2011 to 2013, even worse than that. And then June 22nd, 2013, finally helped myself up with the grace of God. And in 2014 became an addiction recovery coach. And all that epiphany came to me due to my father asked me what this stood for. This particular silver medal, when he asked me that, it all finally came together, that God had bigger and better plans for me. And this is what I'm telling you, folks. There is a plan for you. No matter what the plan might be, you don't know what it is, but there is a plan for you. It's just a matter of you figuring it out. So why don't you let me help take your life back? Thank you. God bless you, and have a sober day. Good morning and welcome to Take Your Life Back, today's show with Ralf Friedrichs. Today's topic is common reasons why those in need for treatment, whether it being drug and or alcohol, don't get it. What are some of the reasons? What are some of the excuses? What are the reasons that are not just here in this country but globally? First, as always, I want to give a shout out to Dr. Luis Gonzalez from startingpointmn.com. You can reach him at 844-414-8444. That's Dr. Luis Gonzalez. He is an addiction recovery coach. He's not a therapist. He's not a counselor. What he is a person that will walk with you from your addiction to your recovery, hand in hand, 24 hours at a time, today and tomorrow. He nor I will never ever talk about your past. We are addiction recovery coaches. We want to motivate you. We want to lift whatever questions you have on the outside, lift those answers that you already have the answers to inside. There's hidden somewhere inside you, and we will lift them to the surface. He also can turn you into an addiction recovery coach. If you have passion, personality, and professionalism, and you have an addiction background, whether it's battling your own demons or maybe helping someone else battle with their addiction, call him at 844-414-8444. Remember, his website is www.startingpointmn.com. That's Dr. Luis Gonzalez from Starting Point. Another shout out to globalayeglasses.com. They are focused on saving you money. They have glasses from $6 all the way up to $49, and those glasses include the frame, single vision standard, non-coated, clear lenses, and they include a cloth and a case. Shipping is $5.95 in the domestic United States, $9.95 for Canada. You can also expedite your shipping for an extra $29, or I should say for $29. There's over 1,200 frames. Even Elton John would be amazed by some of the style frames that they have. And if you're wondering, what do they offer other than just single vision? They have progressive no-line bifocals. They have line bifocals. They have transitions when it changes indoor to outdoor. They have photochromatic, which is a lesser quality of a transition. They have anti-reflecting coating for that night driving when you're driving and it seems like the rain is bothering you, or that glare. They have polarization if you play golf or go fishing. They can make the lenses thinner for you folks that are high myopia, that have thicker lenses. They offer everything that you would find in your local optical shop by your optician online, but at a fraction of the cost, for probably about 20% of the cost of what you would pay for your glasses. So reach out to them at www.globalayeglasses.com, and you can contact me at 631-599-0218 if you have any questions about that company, because I'm very familiar with that company. Not only am I familiar with that company, but I am your personal board certified optician. Reach out and take a look at my website, www.takeyourlifebacktodaysshow.com. That's www.takeyourlifebacktodaysshow.com. It is a new website. It is looking good. It is attracting a lot of people in my audience globally. I am getting comments and emails consistently and constantly. People that have questions. These are real people that have real stories. Reach out to me. You can call my hotline, 844-405-HELP. Let's go right into common reasons why those who need treatment don't get it. And this comes from the CDC through, it's really pronounced Sam Shah, but it's SAMHSA, which is a
they're involved with drug and alcohol abuse. When you see someone on the street passed out, clutching to a bottle in a paper bag, whether it's in LA, Cleveland, New York, Topeka, Dallas, or St. Paul, you wonder why don't they just get the help that they desperately need. Ditto the reaction to a coworker who keeps embarrassing himself at office parties, the constant drunk at the bars, the relative who ruins every family gathering, or the loved one on their second or third DUI in jail. Chances are you know someone with a drug or alcohol problem, or someone who has a mental health issue, or maybe both together. Because you got to remember, substance abuse eventually will give you mental health issues. Surely you think this person would want to get treatment. In all these scenarios that I'm going to read to you, what are the reasons why people who need treatment just don't get them? Needed treatment, made no effort. Here are some examples. According to the NSDUH combined data from 2005 to 2010 surveys, there are 5 common reasons why people who felt they needed treatment for substance abuse but made no effort to get it. Not ready to stop using. People will never stop until they're ready. I call it rock bottom. Number 2, no health coverage, could not afford the cost. 32% of the people. The first one was 38%. This is 32%. Number 3, possible negative effect on job. People worry about losing their job if they need to take a leave of absence because they need to check into a treatment center. Number 4, not knowing where to go for treatment. 12%. And towards the latter of this episode, you'll find out if you personally or you have somebody that needs to find out where to go. We'll give you the information. And last, concern that receiving treatment might cause neighbors, community to have negative opinion about them. That's 11%. Folks, these are needed treatment, but they made no effort. The excuses were as follows again. Not ready to stop using, 38% of people. No health coverage, 32% of people. Positive effect on job, 12%. Not knowing where to go for treatment, 12%. And 11% concerned with receiving treatment might cause neighbors, community, or co-workers to give you a negative opinion. Needed treatment but made no effort. Here we go again. Individuals who felt they needed treatment for substance abuse and did not make an effort to get it offered the following 8 reasons why they didn't receive the treatment. Coming in at number 1 with 27%, no health coverage and could not afford the cost. 29% came in not ready to stop using. Again, this is a separate survey, so you can see how they compare. Number 3, able to handle problem without treatment. We all think we can do that. I thought for the longest time I could do that. Number 4, no transportation. Inconvenient. It doesn't go with my schedule. Excuse me one second. Let me turn this music down. Next one, no program having type of treatment that he or she desires. The only treatment you should be desiring is the one that works. Next one, did not know where to go for treatment. We're going to get to that later, but that's coming in at 8%. Coming in at 7%. Might cause neighbors and community had negative opinion on this survey as well. And the last, might have a negative effect on the job. Folks, these are the chances you might have to take. But whatever the negative aspects are, these chances, the positive aspect is life, sober life. In 2008, according to the NSDUH, there were 10.6 million adults aged 18 and older, which is 4.7% of our population, who reported an unmet need for mental health care. Those who did not receive treatment identified the following 10 barriers for the mental health care. Why didn't they receive it? Coming in, number 1, and hopefully with Obamacare things will get better, but number 1, they could not afford the cost. They couldn't afford the cost of mental health treatment. Coming in number 2, 28% could handle problem without treatment at the time. Don't think so. It does not work. Number 3, Didn't know where to go for the treatment at 19% of the population of the 10.6 million. Coming in number 4, didn't have time at 13%. You don't have time to get better? Wow. Number 5, 9.6%, fear of being committed, having to take that medicine. If you are being committed, it's because you need the help. You desperately need it. Number 6, coming in at 8%, concerned about confidentiality. Don't want family, friends, neighbors to know. Number 8, health insurance did not cover enough treatment. Can't afford my co-payments. 8%. Number 9 at 7%, might cause neighbors, community to have a negative opinion on themselves. Number 10, treatment would not help. 7% feel that the treatment would not help. Well, something, obviously, if you were looking into it, something's not working in your present situation. So treatment can only do wonders to help you. Last but not least, health insurance did not cover any of my treatment, 7%. What about those who felt they didn't need treatment? What do we know about 95.2% of persons needing treatment for substance use but didn't get because they didn't see a need to get it? What are they using for excuses? Well, here are 10. Number 1 always comes in number 1, no matter when I do my show. Denial. The most common, an initial reaction in that the addict refuses to accept that he or she has a problem with drugs and or alcohol. Number 2, control. Male addicts in particular may find it difficult to admit there is a need for treatment due to issues of control. They need to feel in control of their own destiny and often are manipulative and controlling in their relationship with others. Number 3, fear. It takes a lot of determination, motivation, and courage to enter treatment. Many addicts are deterred by fear itself. They are afraid of the entire detoxification and withdrawal process, whether out of ignorance, past experience, past attempts, or perceived dangers that they heard about. Number 4, cut off from the supply. That is the main goal, but they use that as a reason. Many addicts won't enter treatment because they won't have access to their supply of drugs or alcohol. Why would you go into treatment if you wanted to have access to that in the first place? Number 5, they cannot give up their high. For many addicts, the biggest reason they don't go for treatment is that they cannot give up their high. So they think. I didn't think I could. Number 6, treatment won't help. Some addicts feel that they are beyond help. No treatment can possibly make a difference in their lives after years of being addicted to drugs and or alcohol. Number 7, nobody cares after burning their bridges behind them. Annihilating family and friends during the years of addiction, some addicts feel that there is no one left that cares enough whether they live or die. Since they have no one close, no one to support their efforts to get better, why bother? Number 8, stigma. Buried within a person's denial of need of treatment may be the stigma attached to going into rehab. Whether the person is a celebrity or a common laborer, society still treats addicts with a certain amount of contempt. People fail to realize that if you're an alcoholic or you abuse drugs, it's a disease. It's not a choice. The only choice you will have is the choice to seek help. You don't have the choice once it's with you, but you have the choice and the power and the will to get help. Number 8, hope the problem will resolve itself. Some addicts who secretly know different hope that the problem they currently have or have had for some time with drugs and alcohol will simply resolve itself. Won't happen. Last but not least, number 10, and probably the worst, want to die. After years of abuse of alcohol and drugs, having lost all hope, with no one to care, not believing treatment would be effective, or seeing no reason to turn their lives around, some addicts continue their addiction in a deliberate attempt to end their lives. Why should they seek treatment when they don't want it? To an addict in the final stages of addiction, death may only seem the only solution. For example, listening to Howard Stern, and I happened to come across a segment of Artie Lang, who used to be on a Howard Stern show. And Howard was speaking about his suicide attempt. how he didn't want to have to bring it up and all, but it made page 6 in the Daily News. And what Artie Lang was battling with for years was heroin. And I don't know much about Artie Lang now anymore since he left the Howard Stern show, but I hope if he's watching, and I really do hope if he's watching, that Artie, you are clean and sober, and if you're watching me and you're still not, reach out to me, Artie, at 844-405-HELP, or text me at 631-599-0218, and let me help you, Artie, take your life back. Finding treatment for substance abuse. Individuals can call SAMHSA, which is SAMHSA, National Hotline, at 800-662-HELP, available in English or Spanish, or in TDD at 1-800-487-4889. This is a toll-free national referral service for locating alcohol and drug abuse treatment programs. SAMHSA also operates mental health service located that provides comprehensive mental health services, information, and resources. The drop-down listing, which I'm going to list now, is a map can drill down the state and territory. In California, for example, for the following information resources. When you go on their website, which is what you want to do is go to samhsa.org and go to the drop down for mental health facilities locator, for mental health services directory, for Hispanic youth violence prevention services, for state resource guide, for state suicide prevention programs, for substance abuse treatment facility locators, for Center for Mental Health Services grantees, and for state statistics. Sam Shad, which is SAMHSA, Opioid Treatment Program Director, has information on medication-assisted treatment for substance abuse disorders. Folks, try to go call them at 1-800-662-HELP if you have an issue right now, but also Google SAMHSA. And what you want to do is go on their website and take a look at what they offer. Let's do a quick recap. Common reasons why people don't want to get help. Number one on the one at 38% is they're not ready to stop using. When you're not ready to stop using, no matter how much other people want you to help them, the help's never going to happen. The person has to finally admit they have a problem. Number two, no health coverage. Could not afford the cost to check into treatment. That one is a huge factor. I realize that, but I will tell you this from past experience. If you check within your state that you live in, a lot of states offer for low budget people, for low income people, services. Might only be a 10 to 30 day program, but services to help them. And if you still have an issue where you still can't find help and you're really bad off, contact Bill Cunningham show or Steve Wilco show. They a lot of times will help people also. No health coverage and could not afford it was number two. No possible negative effect on job. Yes, you might have a negative effect on job, but what good is your job if you overdose? What good is your job if you can't do your job? Let's go right into what are some of the signs, or why are some of the people not getting mental health when they need mental health stuff? Number one, came in, could not afford the cost. Number two, couldn't handle problem without treatment at the time. Could handle a problem. Number three, did not know where to go for treatment. Number four, did not have time. Number five, fear of being committed, have to take medicine. Number six, concerned about confidentiality. Number 7, health insurance did not cover enough to treatment. I could not afford the co-payment. Number 8, might cause neighbors and community to have negative opinion about me. Number 9, treatment would not help. Number 10, health insurance did not cover any of that treatment. What are the 10 top reasons why people will not even attempt to clean up their act? Denial is always going to be number one. The control factor, especially with male addicts, they feel that they could just control everything. Not only do they want to control their life and their relationship, but they really feel that they can control the drug factor. The fear, it takes a lot of determination, motivation, and courage to enter any treatment program. And the fear that people are having is that it won't work. Number 4, cut off from their supply. Well, this is a no-brainer. You will be cut off from your supply if you're going into a treatment center. You can't give up the high is number 5, and you have to give up the high. If you're ready, and if you hit number 1, denial, and you're ready, denial is gone. Treatment won't help is number 6. Treatment will help. As long as you have an open mind and you're ready and you stop denying, any treatment will help you. Number 7, nobody cares. Well, I will tell you, I don't know what your situation is. I don't know where you're watching me in my audience. You might be in jail. You might be in a homeless shelter. You might be in a nursing home. You might just be watching a TV right now over at Target and they have YouTube on. No matter what your situation, I care. And more importantly, God cares. Stigma. Buried within a person's nerve needing treatment may be the stigma attached going to rehab, whether a person is a celebrity or a laborer. Society still treats addicts as if they were criminals. An addiction, whether it being a drug and alcohol, is a disease. There is nothing you can do about it other than fight and learn to live with it. Number 9, hope the problem will resolve itself. It won't. This problem that you have will only heal when you decide it's time. Want to die. This is a sad one. After years of abuse and alcohol and drugs, having lost all hope with no one to care, not believing treatment would be effective, or seeing no reason to turn their lives around, some addicts continue their addiction in a deliberate attempt to end their life. Why should they seek treatment when they don't want it? To an addict, the final stage of addiction, death may be the only solution, and it's something that they look forward to. Folks, go to Google search SAMHSA, and take a look at all the programs and all the information they have there. You can also go to drugfacts.org. You can go to mad.org. These are all websites that will help you. But the denial needs to stop, and it needs to stop today. And I beg of you, I pray for you, and I hope no matter what you decide to do, that you get the help that you desperately need to save your life. When you are ready, choose the method that it's going to work for you. Try AA. Try my methods. Contact me at 631-599-0218. Go to a treatment center. But no matter which method, you need to include God. God is your guide and your direction in life. Your body, and I say this all the time, your body is like a ship, a vessel. Your mind is like a captain. The captain and the vessel will never ever go out in the rough ocean without navigation. And if your life is at a point right now that it's out of control in that ocean, reach to God and ask Him to be your navigator. Because then, with His navigation, your vessel, your body, and your captain have full control of your ship. And your life will become better. I promise you. You'll see changes mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Those changes might not happen overnight, but they will within time. But it takes you to reach out and say, God, I need help. I need help today. You might have tried quitting using drugs or drinking alcohol and you've had relapses. It's okay. It's a natural thing to happen. It's happened to me 6-7 times before I finally hit rock bottom. Maybe it's not your rock bottom yet, but when you hit rock bottom, you'll know. You'll be able to walk into a liquor shop and get lotto and not worry about the liquor. You'll be able to go to parties. You'll be able to go to bars to watch football with your buddies. You'll just order a spritzer without the alcohol. You'll order the Coke without the rum. You'll order make-believe cocktails that have no alcohol in them. But it all starts with you, and it starts today. Let today be a sober day to give you a better tomorrow. Let the sunshine into your heart and into your home, and you will reap nothing but positive results. If you think positive, you'll get positive. And if you're one of those people that'll say, okay, maybe tomorrow, not only do I feel bad for you, but I will tell you there might never ever be a tomorrow for you or for me. Right now, there are some people in the world that might have said maybe tomorrow, that are now taking their last breath today, that are closing their eyes for the last time, because their time has come and they didn't have a chance for change. But if you're watching me and you're breathing and your eyes are open and you can still hear me, you have time for change. And use this time and use it now and reach up to God and ask God for guidance and direction. I hope to God that each and every one of you folks try to sober up if you haven't yet, for the sake of your life, for the sake of your loved ones, for the sake of your children. It's for the sake of just being sober. Because a sober today, I guarantee you, will give you a better tomorrow. May God bless you. Have a great day, but more importantly, have a sober day. And if you need help taking your life back, call me at 844-405-HELP or text me at 631-599-0218 or email me at ralf@takeyourlifebacktodayShow.com. That's Ralph at takeyourlifebacktodayShow.com. But no matter what, reach out to me and let me help you take your life back.